All right, so thank you for tuning in to Chompin at the Bit. This is episode number 78. I am Kyle Edwards, of course. And there's only one thing to talk about this episode. It is the end of the Super Bowl week because we have finally made it to the day of the big game. Kickoff is now in 3.5 hours. So, I can get this episode out to you well before the game, give you a chance to get ready, get psyched for it all. So like I've done all football season, break down the game, give you maybe some matchups to watch, things I'll be looking for. And I mean, at this point with these two teams, we kind of know a lot about, ins and outs, what they're all about. But now it's just seeing who are the players that maybe take their game up just a little bit and make, some decisive plays here and there that lead to their team ultimately taking home the biggest prize, Super Bowl title. So, going to do that. And then also in this episode, I will give prediction, of course. Have to do that. Because, it's going to be the last day for me to try to help my NFL picks. So, over the course of the year, I'm at 58-68, which is not good. I understand that. But, add today's game. And then, also after that, I'm going to do something with some prop bets, have some fun with that. And for those of you who don't know what the prop bets are, so... outside for the game and everything, the commercials, all that kind of stuff, Vegas and all other sports books or whatever will create prop bets, which kind of deal with a lot of things with the whole experience. So, for example, there will be prop bets on like length of the national anthem. Will it be, I believe it's set at 2 minutes this year, over, under. Color of the Gatorade that gets poured on the winning coach, stuff like that. So I think I'll take some of those, make some predictions on those, and then when I do recap what happens in the Super Bowl, we'll then use those, add them to the picks board, and then that will be final record NFL picks this year. So have some fun with that. Break this game down. And ultimately, I will let you know who I believe will come out on top. So let's go ahead, dive into the matchup first. Like I said, prop bets, save that for the end of the episode. So coming into the game, we all know the storylines out there. It's Tom Brady, defying father time once again, playing at age 43 at the highest of highs in the Super Bowl, leading a Buccaneers team in his first year out of New England and taking some pieces with him down there that have New England ties as well. Rob Gronkowski and Antonio Brown. As short as Antonio Brown's stay was, he's still connected. So taking what I guess they built around Jameis Winston and, swapping Jameis Winston for Tom Brady, and now here's where you are on the verge of capturing a Super Bowl title. Other side, Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. I'm sure you've seen him. He does, State Farm commercials and all that stuff. So he's definitely one of the guys that the league promotes. He and the Chiefs won the Super Bowl last year, so it's a chance for them to go back-to-back in a league where it's very difficult to do so with parity, free agency, salary cap, all that kind of stuff at play. So definitely a big accomplishment. And also, Chiefs are a group that's on the verge of being labeled with that dynasty word. So if they are able to capture second in consecutive years, that kind of opens up the possibilities of what this group can become. We know Patrick Mahomes is there for the long haul, and Andy Reid, we'll have to see how long he continues to go. But, winning a second one could turn into maybe a run like the Patriots had, where, how did it go? They won like in 01, then 03, 04. And then, yeah, so maybe for like the short term, they can capture another Super Bowl or two. And then we'll see. Maybe it is the beginning of a Patriots-like run for the Chiefs organization. We'll have to see. That all starts today. So, I guess we'll go ahead. We'll break down the Bucks. Since the Chiefs are the reigning champions, we'll save them for last. So the Buccaneers come into the game as the first team to actually make it to the Super Bowl in their home stadium. That's got to be a plus for something. Unfortunately, it won't be filled to capacity because of the pandemic. We all understand. But I believe there will be like 25,000 fans in the league. Is it like 7,500 or 10,000 of those fans will be, vaccinated frontline workers, your healthcare professionals, which I think is a good thing that the league is doing. And then the rest of them will be, your, I guess, normal Super Bowl crowd of fans. So at least that aspect is there somewhat, on the lower scale, but at least there are still fans there in the stands. But then, like I said, Tom Brady comes in 43 years old, has given this group of guys a sense at success, and they ran with it. They went through the year, they finished like 11-5, were the 5 seed coming into the playoffs. Maybe finished a little lower than some people thought, but ultimately finishing 5th got them a wild card matchup against the Washington football team. We all remember Washington at that point had a lot of questions at quarterback. They dismissed Dwayne Haskins. Alex Smith was banged up. They had to turn to Tyler Heineke. And, Washington put up a good effort, but they just did not have enough to stay with Brady and the Bucks. They moved on to second weekend game against the Saints, which they went up against the Saints for the 3rd time. And, were able to hold off the Saints, eliminate them, possibly send Drew Brees into retirement, and set up a matchup, NFC Championship weekend against Aaron Rodgers, the matchup that everybody was waiting for. The league loved having. In the game, it was a pretty good game. Rodgers and the Packers definitely missed some opportunities in that game. It was a game that the Buccaneers could have lost easily, as well as the Saints game. If you look back at that one, there was a time in that game where the Saints, if certain things had changed, could have pulled that game out. But they moved on. Like I said, went to Green Bay, another game where they were kind of walking a fine line there. Brady had an up and down game. He had 3 touchdown passes, which is good. He also had 3 interceptions. Some of those interceptions looked pretty bad. But ultimately, Rodgers and his bunch weren't able to capitalize enough off those turnovers. Tampa Bay got a win, moved on to the Super Bowl. And so now coming into this game, the key for them is, Brady's going to have to protect the ball better, because a 3 interception game against this Kansas City team, I feel like will lead to a very different outcome than what happened with Green Bay. Because I trust, Mahomes and his weapons more than Rodgers. And even though Rodgers has Devontae Adams, don't need to go into that again. But I'm sure Mahomes and his crew will take more advantage than Rodgers did with his opportunities. Have to see Tampa Bay get some consistency out of the running game between Fournette and Ronald Jones. If they are able to be productive on the ground, then that makes Tampa Bay's offense even more dynamic, because you can't just pin your ears back and rush Brady hoping to get him off his spot to force turnovers. If you have to worry about a running game, then it makes Brady's job easier in the pocket, and it just opens up way more for the Tampa Bay offense. We'll have to see. So here's kind of my conspiracy with Tampa Bay, because we've seen all year Rob Gronkowski's been down there, and for the most part hasn't really done that much. I think he had like a couple of touchdown passes in the year, I think, but for the most part he's been like a blocking tight end, which he is good at, I will say, but it's not what we're used to seeing from Gronk. We're used to seeing him, yes, blocking, but making plays down the middle of the field, running over guys, that kind of stuff. So I kind of think this is the game where we get to see vintage Gronk, and I think he becomes more a part of the game plan today. Which, I mean, it's the last game of the year. You might as well go all out. I mean, Gronk has said he's looking to come back next year. But with Gronk, we never know, because, his last couple of years in New England talked about retirement, and he did retire. He came out. So we'll have to see at the end of the year how he's feeling about it and all that. But like I said, I have a sneaky suspicion that Rob Gronkowski is going to have some type of impact in the game today. We already know about Mike Evans, who's their best receiver, I would say. He's a bigger body guy, with great hands, and he can get to the end zone. Godwin is a guy who's been kind of up and down. He has the tendency to have some big drops in games, but he's still a good young receiver. And, unlike what we saw in New England, especially at the end of Brady's tenure there, where guys would drop passes and Brady kind of went away from them, Godwin's a guy that he can at least trust in big moments. It's just that sometimes early in games he will drop passes, because we saw it in the Green Bay game. He had a couple of drops early, but late Brady threw a deep pass down the middle of the field. Godwin went up, caught it at its highest point, made a great catch in traffic, which helped set them up for a score. So, and then maybe the guy on Tampa Bay that maybe not a lot of people worry about, you have Scotty Miller, who's their version of, Julian Edelman type. Of course, Scotty Miller's way faster than Welker and Edelman, guys like that. So, he's the guy in the passing game that if you don't pay attention to and Brady gets time, he will look for him downfield. Defensively, you have Dominican Sue up front. You have Lavonte David in the linebacking core, as well as Devin White. Yeah, Devin White is there. This dynamic linebacker that you have to watch, because he plays all over the field. I'm interested to see how Tampa Bay uses him, because he's a guy who can be used to, I guess, kind of keep an eye on Pat Mahomes, but you can also use him, to maybe work in some coverage on Kelsey, or if you want to if Tyreek Hill or something's in the slot, slide him out there just to jam him off the line and send him into backside coverage or whatever. So I want to see what they do with Lavonte David and Devin White for the linebacking spot. Corners for Tampa Bay, it's not exactly their strong point. So if the front seven of Tampa Bay can't put pressure on Patrick Mahomes, then with the weapons from Kansas City, they might be able to exploit Tampa Bay's secondary. So that's kind of where the chess match is going to play in for Tampa. Coaching wise, you have Bruce Arians, who, is highly regarded as a, pretty smart offensive mind in the game. He has his first opportunity at winning a title. So we'll have to see because we have seen some instances where teams get their first taste of the Super Bowl and maybe they try to act a little bit outside of themselves and end up hurting themselves late in the game. Hopefully with Brady's veteran, leadership there, that doesn't happen. But we'll have to see if that plays a part in any way. So, that's what Tampa Bay is bringing to the table. Now take a quick look. Kansas City. Kansas City went through the year. The Steelers had that hot start. Looked like they were going to be the number 1 seed. And then fell off hard late in the year. Kansas City was there to take advantage. Became the number 1 seed going into the playoffs. So they got the week off. The opening week off. And second week, they had a game against Cleveland where the Browns, for about 3.5 quarters of that game, looked like the clear cut better team on that day. But they had some costly turnovers and stuff like that, which kept Kansas City in the game. We all remember was it Rashad Higgins? Got hit around the 1 yard line, fumbled through the end zone, turned into a touchback, which has kind of become a talking point for the offseason, whether they'll get rid of that rule or not. But, that was a big play in that game. Baker Mayfield had a great game for Cleveland. Kansas City was able to stick with them for most of the game. Then the game turned when Mahomes took what did he do? He rolled out to the right, scrambled, was looking to get upfield, took a hit from his side, head was driven into the turf, and we remember the shot of him stumbling to his feet, stumbling back, losing his balance and all that. So he was lost for the game with concussion protocol. Chad Henne, I don't know how many of you remember Chad Henne from his days with Jacksonville, came in, played extraordinarily well, and on a big play late where Cleveland was looking to get the ball back to have an opportunity at winning the game, it was 3rd and 14. Chad Henne scrambled, got 13 yards, and then on 4th and 1, Andy Reid decided to go for it to make sure that they could close out the game and not put the game back in Mayfield's hands. And they ran a quick little out to Tyreek Hill, got it, moved on. AFC Championship game against Buffalo. Buffalo's coming in as kind of the story of the playoffs. Josh Allen had put his name out there and let people know that he's a top quarterback in this league. Stephon Diggs came over from Minnesota, and the two of them just created this great connection where kind of, lighten up the league a little bit. And the Buffalo defense coming along had that great 102-yard pick 6 on Lamar Jackson the week before. Defense has a lot of young guys that fly around the field, so there were some questions about would Patrick Mahomes be ready for this game, and could Buffalo's defense kind of be the defense that would stop Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense. Well, it turned out didn't happen that way. In a pretty high-scoring game, they were able to hold off Buffalo, win by 2 touchdowns. It was pretty close a lot of the game, but Kansas City did pull away late. And now, here we are, the Super Bowl. We know the cast of characters. You have Patrick Mahomes, who's, I guess you'd have to say, best quarterback in the league today. One, because of what he's accomplished already. Plus, he's a young guy, so, with the potential there, that's why. Then, it's not just him, of course, because he has Tyreek Hill, who could be the fastest man in the league with the ball in his hand. and it's not all over the top. He can catch short passes and weave his way through defenses and turn short gains into long back-breaking gains for the offense. You have Travis Kelce, who undoubtedly is the best tight end in the league, seems to always find himself open. That's going to be a challenge for Tampa Bay to be able to, one, keep an eye on Tyreek Hill that he doesn't get behind the defense, and then two, make sure that Kelce isn't just killing you over the middle drive after drive. Watkins, I think I heard Watkins might play, but he hasn't played in a while, so I don't know if I should really spend time talking about him. But he's the guy who plays opposite Tyreek Hill if he is in there. But yeah, McCole Hardman, who can factor into the game both in the passing game and in special teams, as he's their kick returner with great speed. And even on offense, they use that speed with reverses and stuff. So if you're not paying attention, he can do that to you. Running back, you have Edwards-Helaire, who you'll see a lot of. They have Le'Veon Bell, who hasn't been really much of a factor for them. Who else? That's about it for them. Defensively, I guess the key guys for them, you have Chris Jones up front. It's going to be his job to get at Brady's feet, push the pocket into him to make it uncomfortable for Brady when he does want to take his shots downfield, and just get hands in his face to make it harder for him, because we know Brady's not a scrambler, but he will move around in the pocket and create passing lanes for himself. You have Tyrann Mathieu on the back end, who's the quarterback of the secondary. He's a ball hawk and definitely looks to make big plays in the passing game because, like I said, he's a smart defender, so he can sniff out plays pretty quickly, and he will jump routes. He'll do all that. He can come up in the running game, make tackles, force fumbles, all that kind of stuff. Those like the two main guys on defense for them. So for Kansas City, like I said, it's going to be offensively probably spreading out Tampa Bay's defense and using Hill probably several ways, whether it's on the outside or in the slot. Same thing with Kelce. Kelce plays in the slot a lot or off the line as the traditional tight end. Kelce is also the type where once you get into the red zone down the goal line, you could split him out wide and let him use his size against smaller corners, safeties, or use quick little speed against linebackers if you send one out there with him. Have to see if Kansas City gets anything out of their running game. I mean, the easiest thing for Tampa Bay would do was if they can make Kansas City one-dimensional. But even if you don't traditionally get yards out of the running game with Edwards-Helaire, Bell, or whoever they put back there, all those guys can factor into the passing game. So you might see some screen passes, or they might be the little like pass out in the flat when everything else downfield is covered. So you get production out of their running backs a little differently than Tampa Bay's. Tampa Bay's running backs can catch the ball, but they'll have more of an impact gaining yardage on the ground. So there you go. That kind of sets you up. Oh, of course, Andy Reid, Tampa Bay's coach, has Super Bowl experience from back in his days with Philadelphia. Going with, we had Donovan McNabb and actually went up against Tom Brady's Patriots back then, which was a great game also, but Brady came out on top. So for Andy Reid, be a chance to get a ring against Brady. So yeah, that's basically all you need to know matchup wise with the players there. So As I said before, quickly, the key, Tampa Bay, I would say it's probably more important to stop Kelsey first on defense. But at the same time, you do have to stop Hill, so you can't just focus in on Kelsey. I mean, Hill is the type where the game plan may just have to be keep him in short yardage plays, make sure that he doesn't get behind the defense, so keep some space on him. And when the ball's thrown to him, you have to rally to the ball, get him down quickly. Do not allow him to get the ball and start making moves, break tackles and stuff, because then you're in trouble. But Kelsey, he's going to be over the middle. He can make tough catches. So you're going to have to put two guys on him most likely. And like I said, whether it's David or White, you need an athletic linebacker on him. But you also need a safety over the top because Kelsey most likely will be faster than that linebacker. So have to see what Tampa Bay does on defense there. Then the key for Kansas City defensively, I just said, using Chris Jones and the other guys up front, it has to be a game where those guys are able to push the pocket in on Brady. I mean, yes, you can get to him if you have to use like Matthew on a blitz or something, but you don't want it to be a thing where defensively that's what you have to rely on in order to cause incompletions, because if Brady gets used to the fact that you're blitzing and he knows who you're normally blitzing with, then he's able to just shift his, focus pre-snap and make line calls and change plays and all that to counteract that, because he is good at that. But if it's something where the four up front can get to him, then that's something you just have to deal with. You can't really change the fact of that. So that's kind of the key matches there. The one thing to look for is I believe Kansas City has some injuries on their offensive line. So we'll have to see if that comes into play, because like I said, Tampa Bay's front seven is the best part of their defense. So with different guys in the offensive line, if there are any mental lapses there, we could see a situation where maybe a guy gets a free run at Patrick Mahomes. And you have to be a sure tackler, because Mahomes is not the biggest guy, but he can find a way to slip tacklers, create extra time, and usually that's when big plays are made in their passing game, is when the play kind of breaks down a little bit and defenders may lose focus for like half a second, which is enough for Tyreek Hill to slip behind them. So that's definitely something to watch. I think weather, I feel like they said it was raining earlier, but I don't know if that's going to be a thing during the game. So it probably shouldn't be a factor. It seems like the weather is going to lighten up. So that's good. But yeah. So, got that down. I guess it's time for a prediction. I guess we'll do this sound for the very last time this season. My pick is... Now, I have been thinking about this all week. I have gone back and forth. I feel like coming out of the championship games, I was going Tampa initially. Then I started thinking 2 weeks to prepare. I feel like Mahomes and Hill and Kelsey are maybe more dynamic than Brady, Evans, and insert whatever tight end, Gronk, Brait. But there's one thing I learned from the 20 years in New England. When it comes down to big games, it's hard to bet against Brady finding a way to get it done. You have even talking about it now, it's still tough. But I guess I do have to make a decision. I'm going to go ahead, stick it with it. I'm going to go See, oh my God. I can see several ways each team winning this game. But I'm going to go. I don't want to be biased in this. For some reason, I see Tampa Bay pulling this one out. Now, I will say, I do think the injuries on Kansas City's offensive line do scare me a little bit. And I think that's what it is that's tipping me towards Tampa Bay. Because I do think it's going to be high scoring. Both of these offenses are too good to see like the Patriots last one with the Rams a couple of years ago, what was it, like 13-3 was the final score. I would be completely shocked if something like that happened in this game. I think this would be more along the lines of, it was like the Patriots-Eagles one, even though the Eagles won that Super Bowl, but that was crazy high scoring, just back and forth between both teams. I think we'll see more of that in this game. So, Kansas City's the favorite going into this one, I believe. So I'm going with the underdog Tampa Bay Bucks. And I'm going to guess, give me 38 to 34. That's where I'm going. 38-34 Tampa Bay. Brady gets his 7th ring. And sorry, Patriot fans, are going to have to endure a few days of, probably some Patriot bashings in the media, but it'll be all right. So, yeah. Tampa Bay, 38-34 over the Chiefs. So now that we've done that, go ahead and look at some prop bets. Like I said, have a little fun with it. We'll see how many I choose here. So one that's out there, the coin toss. And I feel like that's an easy one to go with. They always say tails never fails. So I would go tails on that. How about the national anthem? What do they set that at? Once again, I'm giving you these so, you can take with it, do what you want. Get a little extra money out of it. I don't know. So, we do have Jasmine Sullivan and Eric Church. Gotta be honest, I don't really know much about Eric Church. They're doing the national anthem together. It is set at over under a minute, 59 seconds. So basically, do you think it's going to be over under 2 minutes? Am I crazy to think that seems like over is the obvious choice there as well? I don't see that being a chance of them going under 2 minutes there. Oh, saw an interesting one. The odds that Eric Church or Jasmine Sullivan forget or omit a word from the national anthem. That's interesting. I think I'm going to go against the grain on that one. I said they don't. Like I said, they have prop bets for everything on here. So there goes 3 right there. Anheuser, I don't care about that. How many commercials will have a dog in them? I think that's a good one. I think I'll do that one. Over under 4.5. I'm going over 4.5. I feel like dogs get used a lot in commercials. Am I wrong to think that? Because they can be used for almost any product. As long as you're showing like a couple or some type of family. Usually like families in a car, there's always a dog. So 4.5 seems easy there. I'll go with that one, over 4.5. mean, some of these are giving away what some of the commercials will be. Will there be a COVID vaccine commercial? Once again, I feel like that's an obvious yes. I'd be shocked if they didn't show a COVID vaccine commercial. So I'll go with yes on that one. Alright, so Gatorade shower prop bet. Here we go. So, color of the Gatorade liquid poured on the coach. Options: orange, you have red or pink, you have yellow, lime, green. They group all those three together. That kind of makes that intriguing. Blue, clear, and purple. I have a sneaky feeling it's going to be red. If you look at it, both teams kind of have red in their team color, so maybe that pushes it. I think the Bucks have a little more orange in theirs. I did pick the Bucks to win. It makes sense to pick orange here, but I'm going to go against the grain. I think red gets poured out. Don't know why. I'm just going with red. Will the MVP say Disney in their speech? No, I'm not doing that one. Will Joe Biden? Okay. Will any player... like I said, look at some of these prop bets. Will any player propose to his girlfriend on the field after the game? I'd probably say no, but who knows? What players will pour the Gatorade on the winning coach? So you have defensive players, offensive players, or a mixture of both. So if Kansas City wins, you got to figure it'll be like Travis Kelce holding it. Who else? It'd probably just be Travis Kelce. Bucks win it, you figure Gronk. That's a good one. I think offensive. Yeah, I feel like it's going to be one of those two who will do it. So I'd go offensive there. And I guess we could go with a couple more to finish out the episode. I did commercials of the Doug, and there's a Bush. Let's see. Oh, I guess I had to do some halftime show. If you remember, we have the Weeknd doing the halftime show. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess I have to see kind of music he does. Well, that's kind of a stupid thing to say, but I do like some of the Weeknd songs, so I feel like there's the opportunity there for it to be entertaining. So let's see how many songs. Oh, here we go. What will be the first song played during the halftime show? Ugh. I'm not going to read through all these choices here. Would he lead it off with Can't Feel My Face? I'll go Can't Feel My Face. Why not? Yeah. I'll go Can't Feel My Face will be the first song you hear from the Weeknd. Last song. Blinding Lights is the overall favorite. I probably would have gone with that, or I Feel It Coming. I'll go Blinding Lights. He has a show with that. Will Drake be on stage during the halftime show? They have a Canadian connection there. I'd go yes. This feels like a game for Drake to make an appearance. And then I guess we'll do one last one about the broadcast. All right, I have to give a shout out to my boy Tony Romo, the broadcast. Will Tony Romo correctly predict an offensive play? I say he does. He has a way of doing that in big games. And yeah. Actually, I'm going to do two more, because some of these are actually pretty good. What will be mentioned first about Tom Brady? The fact that it's his 10th Super Bowl, or that he's age 43? That's a tough one. Ooh, I feel like the 10th Super Bowl will be the first thing mentioned. Probably in the same sentence as his age of 43, but I think they go 10th Super Bowl first. So that's why I would go with that. However, for Patrick Mahomes, what will be mentioned first? The fact that he's expecting a child, or that he's engaged getting married? I honestly did not know either of those about him. I feel like engaged getting married would have to be first, right? Yeah. Actually, I don't want to use that one. That was kind of stupid. Here's one for Patrick Mahomes. Will baby goat be said in reference to Patrick Mahomes at any point in the broadcast? I think no. I don't think they do that yet. I feel like that would be something that they'll wait if Kansas City does win it. Oh, well. See, that's tricky, because that's something they could use at the end of the broadcast, towards the end. I still say no. I feel like they'll come with some other name for him other than that. And oh my god, there's so many good ones on here. Andy Reid's mask design. If you don't know about Andy Reid, his mask game kind of on point for coaches. He does all kind of things with his. I'll leave that one alone. Let's do one more. All right, I'm going to do two more. I found the last two. This is it. I promise you. How many times will Belichick be said? Ooh. Over, under one. I think that's over one easily. I guess the only question is, does this only count like, no, it can't be just during the game. This has to be like throughout the broadcast of the day. Yeah, that's going to be way over one. That's an easy one. And now the last one. Will LeBron be said during the broadcast? So this is the thing that I haven't talked about it that much on here, but LeBron's name seems to find its way in like every sporting event out there. So it's either yes or no here. I'm taking yes. By far, that's probably the easiest one to go with. Yes. So there you are. Those are prop bets. Figured we'd just end the episode off with some fun with those. Like I said, I'm going to keep track of them. When I do the recap, we'll go over those, use them on the pick board, all that. So now at this point, we're coming down to a couple hours before kickoff. Hope you guys, have some plans on watching it. But remember, Super Bowl parties, if you are doing one, definitely be safe. I guess the smartest thing to do is just kind of watch it with family or whatever. But hey, you do what you got to do. Have any kind of fun that you want. So like I said, picking Tampa Bay in this one, 38-34. As you guys listen to this episode, I would hope you would let me know what you think. If you agree with me, think I'm crazy, let me know. You can do that several ways. You can go to Twitter, follow the show at Chompin Podcast. Let me know there. Have a Facebook page. If you search Chompin at the Bit, you'll find me there. Wherever you are listening to the podcast, if If you want to drop a comment there, I will get a notification, and you can let me know there as well. So definitely thank you for tuning in. I guess looking next couple of episodes just to get you set up. Obviously, I have to do a recap of the Super Bowl. I did not get to do anything on the NFL Honors Show. To be honest, I haven't watched it yet, so I'm going to try to see a replay of it over the weekend or something. Well, I mean, over the weekend. It's Sunday, so either today or tomorrow or something like that. We'll do an episode on that. See who won the big awards. See if I agree or not. At the Honors Show, they do talk about the Hall of Fame class. I may do an episode on that, as well as talk about some Hall of Famers coming down the line, whether they have a shot or not. I'll figure out how to do that, work that in. That will kind of, I guess, close off the current NFL season coverage. I will still do some NFL stuff throughout the off season, of course. Get into draft mode. Any big trades, all that kind of stuff will happen. But then I will start working in NBA stuff again, because there's a lot to talk about with this NBA season. I will talk. I got some soccer stuff I want to talk about, so definitely plenty to come. But yeah, so thanks for tuning in. Be safe out there. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy the game. Whoever you're rooting for, you can let me know who you're picking to win as well. But yeah. Hopefully, I'm expecting a great game. Hopefully it's entertaining. Hopefully good commercials. I hope the weekend does well at halftime. I guess actually, quick side note, if you want to let me know that with your comments and all that, who's been your favorite Super Bowl halftime performer of your lifetime, let me know. But yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and get off of this now. But yeah, so be safe again. God bless. Enjoy the game, and I will catch you the next episode. All right.